YouTube, what up? It's your boy ONI-DJtv. Welcome back to another video, man. React to some more cops getting caught up being stupid for the most part. If you new, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. You know what I'm saying? Leave me a comment. Let me know what y'all think about these cops and the shit they kind of get away with. You know what I'm saying? Nobody like watching these videos, exposes it. You know what I'm saying? So anybody watching, and myself, so I can know what to look out for, what kind of lies to look out for, because this kind of helps. So yeah, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, subscribe, and we'll go get straight to it. Hope y'all having a blessed day. Blessed day.
All right, listen. I'm gonna read you your rights real quick. All right.
I don't know what happened. It just stopped.
You guys got the wrong guy. I can confirm where I was, and I can even confirm my activities.
This is Samuel Scott Jr., a black man who had the audacity to call the cops once his car got stolen. And what did the cops do? They figured he was the suspect, so they arrested him. But let's take a step back.
That shit can't be real, dog.
Back and start from the beginning. On November 13th, 2018, Samuel Scott Jr. was visiting his aunt.
I know it's early in the video. I hope it's a police officer watching. You might be a good one, but explain to me how somebody has it ever happened? I don't think it's ever happened, but can somebody call saying their stuff got stolen and they the ones who stole it? That don't make sense. What?
Once he left her house at around 5:40 p.m., he noticed his 2006 Jeep Compass was missing, so he called police to report it being stolen. Several police vehicles converge at the scene, and Scott is immediately detained and handcuffed.
Put your hands behind your back.
Or maybe they didn't know he called.
Detain right now. I'm gonna explain to you in a minute.
4221, right?
Put them bitches on tight too. Put up there. Oh yeah, I got them.
I got them on my car. Make sure you complete that report because I need that. Okay? Where's your ID?
Didn't ask.
See? Take all your
Oh, they already pulled
no,
ID.
Can't take this. This.
They supposed to have ID first, huh?
What about my kids? I mean, I literally, I went over there to see my kids and everything. My kids are...
Where are your kids?
I was with them.
Where are
they? They were over there at, what's the name? They were over at my cousin's house. So,
when?
Huh?
When?
What? I've been over there since, what? I want to say it's 5:30, 6 o'clock. I actually walked back over here.
You have two IDs?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Well, one is an ID and one is a driver's license.
Okay.
What's not good about it?
Are you going to take
Got double identification.
something, or am I going to...
You've been detained. Okay? Get the story put together. I'll let you know what's up, okay?
All right, but...
Hats off to Mr. Scott for taking all this so lightly. His kids could have seen their dad through the window, and it could have traumatized them for life.
Yeah,
he explains that he left them at his cousin's house and then walked back here. But wait, there has to be something else, right? Because this just doesn't make sense. Here's the backstory. Officer Jonathan Guzman, the one who you watch put Mr. Scott in handcuffs, actually saw his car going 20 miles per hour over the limit. So, he followed it. He witnessed the driver crashing into another vehicle and then fleeing the scene. He didn't see the driver's face, but described him as a 6'2" heavy-set black male wearing a white tank top and fleeing the scene. And that really resembles Mr. Scott, right? Who had a white undershirt, not a tank top, beneath the t-shirt. When the officers explained to Mr. Scott he looks like the suspect, he has a clever response.
I'm telling you guys got the wrong guy. I can confirm where I was, and I can even confirm my activities. I recently logged off of the VPN at my job.
Okay. At what time?
Roughly before I came over here, before I called you guys. But I'm telling you, you guys got the wrong guy.
The description of the car, of the guy that took off from your car is just like yours.
But that's
black
not
guy.
Miami, bald-headed with a beard. Even if he had dreads, it's dreads with a beard. But then it's not fair. I mean, like I said, my kids, I called because my car got stolen. My kids are over there. They don't even know what's going on.
So what time was your car stolen?
I told you, probably around about 5. I didn't pay attention to the time. I really just jumped out of the car to go see. That's it. If you want, like I said, we can go. Like, I had my kids and stuff like that, dropped them off, came over to say hi, and I went. I mean, I don't know what happened. I don't. I mean, like I said, I know the people that stay across there, over here, all over the place. I don't know what happened.
We often come upon situations where police officers just fail to recognize and acknowledge signs and information. Mr. Scott's story sounds perfectly reasonable and plausible. It's more than likely that another man who resembles Mr. Scott in stature could have stolen his car. So why wasn't any of this taken into account? Instead, not only do they detain Mr. Scott, but also decide to arrest him.
My car just somebody jumped in.
Black car man.
And I'm sorry, but I'm telling you, I didn't do it. I mean, literally, I mean, why would I call the police?
Exactly. That's like your main
I mean,
tip.
I called because my car is stolen. I mean, how me and my kids are gonna get home? My pillow, my work ID, my work stuff, all of that stuff is in there. Why would I? That's why I'm like, why am I in handcuffs?
I'll be so confused too, bro. He don't even want to hear. He just like, whatever.
Open the window so he's behind them.
Turn the car on.
Again, the cops fail to acknowledge that any of this could be true. For that reason, these cops are some of the dumbest cops ever. Or if they're not dumb, they're just evil. Listen to what this cop says when Mr. Scott tries to explain that he's a decent human being.
Also, I don't really know, or I've never been arrested. Hell, one good friend of mine is like City of Miami, Dennis Jackson. He's been my pastor, an unretired City of Miami police officer.
You never been arrested before?
No.
Sure about that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Never been arrested.
sure about that?
What? Are you sure about that?
I doubt it.
Do you need any more proof that this was a prejudice-induced arrest? It's like this dumb cop cannot wrap his head around the fact that this man has not been to jail before. It's ludicrous. Soon after, Mr. Scott was arrested and charged with leaving the scene of the accident, false reporting of a crime, failure to carry a concealed weapon license, and possession of marijuana. All the charges were later dropped, but Mr. Scott took matters into his own hands and filed a lawsuit against the city later failure to carry a
this man called
concealed weapon license and
this man called the police because somebody stole his car, and they arrested him and just hit him with 4 crazy ass charges: possession of marijuana, failure to, false report of a crime, possession, and like 2 big things, carrying a concealed weapon license. Bro, he was just trying to put this man under. He's like, yeah, I don't give a fuck if it's your car gone. We're gonna put your ass in jail. That's crazy. That's what I mean by dumbass cops. So if you get a sensitive thing like, I'm not all cops dumb, I'm a cop, I'm not dumb. This motherfucker he's a dumbass cop. Cause how is that even fair? That's just crazy. Even if it was a white person, that still wouldn't be fair. You don't got all the details. You just assuming, and you just throw them in there.
possession of marijuana. All the charges the city of Miami and the 5 dumb cops who were involved and filed a law. All the charges were later dropped, but Mr. Scott took matters into his own hands and filed a lawsuit against the city of Miami and the 5 dumb cops who were involved in his arrest. His lawyer's asking for $500,000 in damages. If this was California, the sum would be tripled. In case you don't know what I'm talking about, check out our video entitled When a Suspect Sues Cops and Actually Wins. Not all dumb cops harm innocent civilians. Some do it to themselves, like these TikTok star wannabes.
I saw one. One got fired. Yeah, it was a black lady cop, but yeah, she got fired for like doing TikToks.
This deputy has been punished for a video she posted on TikTok. Yet, despite the punishment, she continues to create new videos while wearing her uniform.
The punishment came down when her supervisor apparently saw her streaming on TikTok live while on duty. She was reprimanded, but videos.
I don't care about that. Videos of her
recording.
From social media.
People get that wrong. She just didn't care. So this is dumb.
More cringy than a car face for on account of her flaunting their beauty and which one do you think was worse? Speaking of bubbly girls flaunting,
because I believe the link to this video in the description. That's like you just did something dumb to yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's like whatever. I'm talking about. I want to see how they doing the citizens dirty. Like this lady who. In the armbar.
Beauty and charm. Let's hop over to Myrtle Beach in South Carolina, where professional acrobat Samantha Panda was placed in handcuffs after a Karen at the beach reported her bikini. Her friends got involved and started filming and questioning the officers.
Oh, the Karen that like what she was wearing.
Stop acting like this. Sam, just relax.
Usually hide.
Just relax, all right?
The camera still?
No. So, she's being detained. She's being detained right now. Okay. All right. Okay, and how is that? No. How is she just acting in your eyes? That's all I want to see. I just want to. Tell me she's not going to listen. No, she didn't say that. She asked you. She asked you if she wants, if you can show her.
Why is it usually the police number response too? You hurt their feelings. They be look. His name. You can't see his name, but the name makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. All right. But yeah, they can't. They get their feelings hurt, but they just can't handle that shit. Nah. Why she in cuffs? So she hurt my feelings. Basically, what I'm saying.
Or the law that says.
I'm not dealing with you.
no.
Come here, officer, so we can explain to you too.
I can hear you. I'm not comfortable right now. Can I just get your place?
No. You're coming to a car and we're just going to show you the ordinance.
I just feel uncomfortable.
I'm asking you to come to my car so I can get out the... If you want to see it, you have to come to the car.
Really uncomfortable.
I'm really uncomfortable.
What is this reason? We're not going anywhere.
I would start saying that.
We're not going to
I'm really uncomfortable with this arrest right now.
So, why is it illegal to have a bikini on the beach?
I literally wear this to the beach
You want us
every
to show
day.
you, we're going to show you.
Okay, absolutely.
The officers escorted the ladies and their friend to the police vehicle
Why
and
is so quick
proceed to
people
show
handcuffs?
the ordinance, yet they fail to acknowledge their own stupidity. The ordinance clearly says, and I quote, "It shall be unlawful for any person to appear in the nude on any public beach, beach access to the public waters, or any public property in the view of the public."
Of the public.
I'm not
So
nude.
nobody's nude. There's nobody
I'm
nude
not
right now.
nude.
Okay, you're in a phone.
No,
It's not-
Your thong is not nude. All right. An anus, a vagina are nude. All right.
Why you use the what's she doing?
Just
About to break her arm?
an anus and a vagina.
Why
are
he said it
nudity.
twice though?
A thong is not nudity.
No,
Okay. All right. Having your nipples exposed is not against the law, as long as it is not in a sexually explicit manner.
We're just
No, I'm
on-
serious.
So she had a top off.
Let go of me.
No, you're in handcuffs.
You put me in handcuffs for being in a car.
As long as it's not in a sexually explicit manner, and there's no sexually, there's nothing.
He's looking
sexually
for it too.
explicit
Like, damn,
about
how can I get this?
Look at the other officer, scrolling through the manual, looking for a way out. This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. Prior to deciding to place a young woman in handcuffs, did it not occur to them that in the 21st century, wearing a thong is probably not considered nudity? Maybe they should have consulted the manual in depth
I get
before
it,
taking
so,
actions
one of
like
them old-
depriving someone of their freedom.
One of them old
He
Karens
even
like, look at
asked
this
the guy
young
this.
motherfucker out here, all this, got her ass all out. Call the police.
I just read it.
You just
Okay,
we have
nude, in the nude. This is not considered nudity. There is clothing covering their private parts.
You know what anatomical areas are?
I do know what anatomical areas are.
Expression of the buttocks is an
No,
anatomical area.
no, it's not. Okay, well then
So is my belly
then
button.
there's other girls that have their cheeks.
They do barely got anything on.
Same thing with this.
I mean, they're not breaking no law, but they
It's simple.
got strings on, so
just
damn
because, just because she
But,
has
yeah,
a
no
bikini
law
that,
proof.
that is more revealing does not mean that she's in the wrong. There are other bikinis. Like, look, I can see her butt cheeks.
Every
So who's the lady that called?
I mean, shows your butt. That's why your butt is not illegal. Nothing in there says thong. Any quote unquote private parts are not uncovered. Or, yeah, none of our private parts are uncovered.
Where does it say? It doesn't say that. It says nudity.
He don't give a damn. He like,
There's no nudity going on.
can't wear this thong.
Just notice the defeated look on the other officer's face.
Like
He
Ryan
knows
Reynolds
they're
look.
beaten. He's praying that his partner can muster up something from the rule
said,
book,
"Please
but
find
hopes for
something."
that are slowly fading away. The girl's male friend must have noticed that look, as he decided to heat things up. And Acrobat Panda over here is about to make it weird.
Can we have names and badge numbers, please?
Yeah. Well, this is Zach Raffi. I know his wife, actually. It's Guy's ex-fiance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, she pierced my nipples.
And then badge number.
359.
She knew that. Yeah, I know you.
What's your first name? Kyle. Nick.
Okay.
Cool.
I know. Sam, Panda, Zach, Rafi, Kyle, Dick? This has to be made up, right? Only it isn't. It's all too real, but weird names aside, the cause for all this is Myrtle Beach's controversial code, which, believe it or not, currently does state that thong bathing suits are not allowed on the beach or in public. Perhaps it's a newer code that attempts to be more precise, or it's just that these two cops are too dumb to find the clause in their code. However,
Oh, so
code
they
or
couldn't
not,
find it.
arresting someone because they're wearing a thong is ridiculous, and it could have been conducted in a peaceful manner. But Officer Dick is about to escalate things even further, and Officer Raffi has a problem with nipples on Panda's friend.
What? You're just gonna sit here and argue?
So this code was already enforced with the thong. They just couldn't find it. They don't think they knew about it either. Or did they make this code after this arrest attempt or whatever? Even still, you just asked them to leave the beach. It's not arrested. You know what I'm saying?
Because you don't like the way we're dressed?
No, wait for some.
Okay.
Great. Can someone grab our stuff? It's like my phone.
No.
He said we can see her clear as day.
And I'm talking to her.
Okay, I understand you're talking to her, but
You're talking to her about her
no,
story.
I'm on a public beach. I'm on a public beach.
He said, you stop talking. You get your ass off.
We
All
have our social distance.
right, let's skip ahead. I couldn't see where this go. I thought the other officer was going to say
Brief
something.
consultation with Officer Raffi, he approaches the girls and engages in conversation to learn more about their side of the story. It seems that this conundrum lies in the vague Myrtle Beach Code, which can obviously be interpreted
Okay.
you can do over the phone.
least you got
The
the
argument
handcuffs.
continues back and forth, pretty much the same way it did earlier. But at least this officer has the common sense to order Dick to remove the handcuffs.
I'm about to say, yeah,
He
she
then
ain't
goes to
handcuffs
his
her.
car to have a better look at the code on his computer and explains that thongs that reveal the majority of the butt cheeks, as well as tops that reveal nipples, are not acceptable.
I mean, that makes sense.
The way you guys are dressed, like I said, if your butt is hanging out, yes, that is a violation of our city ordinance, which I'm clearly told you.
Are you gonna address?
I'm
just curious.
Well, listen, they're in bathing suits that are covering up majority of their behinds or whatever.
Yeah,
They're not
got
though. Like they might be an inch more than mine.
Well, then you have to put on something. You cannot have a thong on this with your butt exposed. You can't do it.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
So what's considered a thong? Because that's a Brazilian cut bikini.
We're not getting Brazilian
Well, it does matter because if I'm gonna go buy a bikini, I would like to know if I can wear it.
But our ordinance just says buttocks. That's all it says.
Okay, so then that's a buttocks over there. So
Okay.
Who will be the judge? You will be in the following
Whatever.
of the firm belief that there are no bad dogs, just bad owners.
Oh,
In the
man, they'll
case of
stick the dog on
Jadarius
his man.
Rose, a dumb canine operator released the dog on the defenseless man, even though he was ordered not to do so. Rose was a
He just
truck
wanted
driver.
to do it. You wanna bite him,
Even
boy?
though he was 23
Go
years
bite him.
old at the time, he looked like a kid, and in that
does, he
situation, he acted like a kid. The incident started when a police officer decided to pull him over for a missing mud flap. Rose stopped at first,
It's
but then kept
my boys, they drive trucks too. It's like an annoying part of driving a truck that I hear a lot. You get pulled over for a lot of stuff that either you don't know about or like his mud flat could have flew off while he was driving. You just didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So you get pulled over a lot. Which again is the cop's job to make sure these trucks are safe because they are very dangerous. So I get it. But yeah, you get bothered by police a lot driving big rigs. So
going. So the cop called for backup and engaged
He
in
just kept
pursuit.
going?
This is the moment he pulled over, but seeing the guns aimed at him, he continued driving.
Why they pulling
Notice
guns
the
on
gun this officer's aiming with.
why you pull a gun? That's bro. Act like they put a drug bust. This was the first stop, I'm assuming. He got a gun out? Bro. He was, bro. For a mud flap. This man got the M16 off him. I wouldn't get out either. Like, hell no, boy. Yeah. I don't even blame him for pulling off. What you aiming that shit at me for, bro? For a mud flap?
Okay, are you Quick County or Ross County?
He must be in a sundown town.
Took off again.
Or something. He gotta be somewhere where they just don't like niggas.
1959 Jackson. I'll have Travis.
Cause that's just crazy, bro.
He rolled the window down, looked at us, rolled it back up. We're northbound 48 miles an hour, passing Moore Road.
Yo, you missed something. He rolled the window down, looked at us, saw that big ass gun, and drove off. That's what happened.
Now, it wasn't a high-speed pursuit.
Let me count these police officers. My camera not blocking in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars. 2 or 3 canines.
By any stretch
Bro.
of the imagination. Thing is, this kid had done nothing wrong. It's just that when he pulled over and saw all the guns pointed at him, he got scared. He then actually called his mother and asked her what to
Ohio,
do. She
would never
told him
go
if
on.
he'd done nothing wrong, he should stop. But then he rolled down the windows and saw the guns again and did not feel safe at all. So,
Oh, so he
instead
stopped
of
twice.
getting out, he continued driving and called 911,
Okay.
hoping they could help him. In case you think that's crazy, listen to this.
A 911 call.
So he stopped. We stopped once, then drove off because he like, I ain't do nothing. She's like, you ain't do nothing, just stop, baby. Okay. So that was dumb on his part. I agree. You know, you stop. Why would you pull off on a police officer once you stop one? You know, that just make you look. That's a red flag. But the guns and shit is like totally unnecessary. I get maybe a little hand on the sidearm, you know, Let's say why he running. You know, you gonna be but the whole. Well, he ready for war zone, boy. Like what?
Attorney indicated was Rose seems to confirm that he was afraid.
I parked the truck and I was about to comply with them, but they all had their guns drawn out for whatever reason. It seemed like they trying to kill me.
You need to comply with them.
I mean, what was he expecting to hear from the operator? This just goes to show how inexperienced and really afraid he was. As the operator instructed him to obey the officers, Rose eventually did, but little did he know what was in store for him.
She's not gonna be on your
Notice
side.
there's a bunch of law enforcement vehicles, including Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Sheriff's Office. And that's when this happened.
Oh, look, they got El Chapo.
That's the dog! Come to me! You don't want bit! On the ground, you're gonna get bit. Come to me, man!
Do not let them, don't release the dog. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Do not release the dog with his hands up. Don't. Do not.
What the fuck, bro?
Get the dog off of it. Get the dog off of it. Get the dog.
What is he doing?
As you can imagine, horrific wails ensue from the young driver, pleading for the officers to get the dog off of him. However, the dog does what he was trained to do and does not let go that easily. At this point, the dog still does not let go, and you can see the female officer cover her face in disbelief. Even when the dog is finally off, the kid continues screaming, most likely out of shock more than just the pain. And all the officers seem to be taken aback by what just transpired. And this young man's ordeal isn't over yet.
Shit's stupid. That shit's so stupid.
Yeah. Was that not loud enough?
You said it 3-4 moments.
What the officer who did that shit? He need to beat his ass. Let the dog bite him there. What kind of shit was that? For no reason. Say, nah, fuck that. Get him. Go on to him to get bit.
Then we have the front rear tire on the rim. 30K right lane.
They have one in route.
Yeah, he's just terrified.
Bro, you just let the dog bite me. Why would you touch my left arm?
Terrified kid, man. That's just crazy. No, he ain't driving no more. No more truck. I wouldn't. I wouldn't drive another damn truck, dog.
Why you keep bending my arm?
We're trying to get it wrapped.
We're wrapping it up.
We're not trying to hurt you.
Here. There's a pad.
All this for a mud flip.
I got handcuffs on. Y'all just making it worse. Man, and you still leaning on me like you pinning me down. I got cuffs on.
Nobody is on you.
Yes, you are. Look, you're grabbing my shorts.
My shorts?
I don't need it wrapped up right now.
The bearded man you just saw here was Ryan Speaker,
Oh, yeah, he
the
the one who did
canine handler who let the dog loose. Just to make it clear, it wasn't like the dog slipped loose.
Yeah, he brought him
The
over there. He
video
picked him
clearly
up.
shows the
So,
young
yeah.
driver kneeling with his hands up when the dog runs the other way.
He told him to come
His
back.
handler
Yeah, come on
yells
back.
at him, frantically pointing at the unarmed suspect who seems to be surrendering. This certainly brings up some terrible images from our past, and it's not clear what Speakman was thinking at the time as he failed to comment. He was fired from the
There you
Circleville
go.
PD because he did not meet the standards and
just
expectations
joined another
we
police
hold
force.
for our police officers. We'll come back to
That shit
this.
don't matter.
Now let's see what Rose and his lawyer have to say after a dimwit journalist asked him if the cops firing is enough to make things right.
Like that. The police released a statement. They fired the police officer. Is that enough for you?
I just hope we don't have time.
I'm sorry, Ben. If you could answer that question.
Yeah, Tom, I certainly think it doesn't remove the trauma and the physical injuries suffered by Jadarius, who was on his knees, putting his hands in the air, which is the universal sign of surrender. What more can a black person do to say that I'm not putting you in fear? It was enough that he had guns pointed at him when he had pulled over, and he had an assault weapon pointed at him. He called 911, Tom, saying I'm afraid they're going to kill me. That is the sentiment of most black people in America when the police pull them over.
This is 2023.
Jadarius is being represented by Ben Crump, the famous civil rights attorney who's previously represented Randy Cox, Ajike Owens, and the family of George Floyd. In the interview, Rose said that when the dog was biting him, he was terrified and he thought he was going to die. The pain was real, and he was screaming because he just didn't want to die. He also said that he couldn't even see what the officers were doing because he was so scared of the dog that was ripping into his arm.
You want to stand up on your feet or you want to sit on your butt? I don't know what you're going to let me do. I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you either sit or stand. As long as you ain't going to do nothing stupid. I'm going to do something stupid.
Just have him set up, Tyler.
You still
Let him set up.
It's too late for that. You still squeezing me. I know. You still squeezing. Let it go. Don't put pressure on me. You have to have pressure. Don't know. Let it be. Just go ahead and let it go. Why are you still touching me? What's that? Why are you still touching me? Because you are under arrest. Yeah, I have handcuffs on. I understand. All right, so you can stop touching me and tell me what I need to do. But I don't need your hand on me. The dog already did enough.
Your dog
It's
did enough. Rick. Get your
understandable
hands
that
off
after
the
such a shock, Rose just wants some room to breathe. As for Officer Ryan Speakman, the Ohio Patrolmen's Benevolent Association has filed a grievance on behalf of him. As it turns out, the police department conducted an investigation into the incident, and a use of force review board determined that the agency's policy for the use of canines was followed in the apprehension and arrest. Really? I'd like to see the policy that says officers are supposed to unleash dogs on defenseless, unarmed suspects.
That's crazy.
What do you think? Should Speakman's termination be rescinded? Should he be paid and reimbursed for all lost wages, seniority, and benefits lost
that's what they're trying to do?
from his firing, and his employee record expunged of his termination history? Let me know what you think of that in the comments below.
That's fucking crazy.
I bet that last clip got your blood rushing. So, since we're all amped up and ready for action, let's follow a couple of officers as they bravely break down the door to an apartment where an intoxicated man was causing a scene and apparently having.
Side note: if you never been like, I don't got not dog sick on me, but I don't got attacked by dogs like twice. Once as a little kid, and again as like a teenager, and that shit ain't fun, bro. It's legit terrifying. I knew how to handle the situation, and I handled the situation the way I handled it. I ain't gonna go into detail, but yeah, it's not. It ain't something that's like easily looked over. So I get why he was so terrified. You know, he's grown. That shit ain't cool, bro. Big ass German Shepherds, they strong now. They got bites. You know what I'm saying? You think a pit bull bad? Nah, pit bull's just quick and they got power. But them German Shepherds, them Malinois, whatever they call them, the Doberman Pinschers, those are the ones that's terrifying. Cause they hunt you down, they bite hard, and they rip and tear. You can see all the blood coming from his arm. It's rough.
Mental breakdown
I get why he's
while
so
throwing things out of the
traumatized.
window.
Especially if you're already kind of scared of dogs, don't like animals.
Open the door! We're coming in!
Hopefully my camera not running too hot.
Now!
All right, we good.
Open the door! We're kicking the door!
What is that, a beanbag gun?
Seattle Police!
What? That's funny too. I was just about to say that before they kicked it in. If you're inside, right, there's 1, 2, 3 doors, right? You live right here. It's probably like, what, New York or something? There's 3 doors right here. You hear police yelling, "Hey, open the door!" Are you gonna assume they're at your door? I doubt they knocked. Well, he probably did. But again, you so close. Pretty sure they had plenty of situations where somebody knocking on one door and they talking to the other one, so they both open the door. And like, oh my bad. So I would be right here in this situation thinking they ain't hit my door. That's what I would be thinking. That's what you were like, what? When they bust that thing open?
Now this looks a little drastic, doesn't it? Well, the thing is, there were several reports. One said that the man was hanging out of the window, while the other said that the suspect was trying to push someone out the window.
What they got going on?
So it's perhaps justified that these officers would break the door with guns drawn, even without a warrant, if they feared for the victim's safety. However, pretty soon they realized that there's no broken window and there's no suspect. I mean, there wasn't even any mess on the street, but they failed to realize that. Meanwhile, the woman in the apartment is taking a bath, so she doesn't even hear the cops shouting until they're already inside the apartment.
And you gotta be butt naked too. Oh man, she's suing. She about to sue the best out of here.
Yeah, please department.
I'd be scared. I'm a grown ass man. Bust the door open while I'm in the shower.
Who else is in here?
Nobody. I live alone.
They're trying to get a peek. Look. No window broke, nothing.
There's no broken window.
Yeah, she about to sue the mess out y'all.
The reason why there's no broken window is that the cops did not just miss the apartment. They missed the entire building. The dispatcher said that the incident was at 3028 First Avenue, but these cops decided to go to 3016 First Avenue, which was half a block away from the actual location.
How you mess up that bad? Did they not have info constantly going to them? Like 3028? We at 3016? No, 3028. No, they just said that, fuck it, this the right building? Bro, how? I'm not a cop, so I don't understand, but I don't know how you get the info
until they realize their mistake.
What apartment unit is it?
Well, it's gotta be New York, though. Something like that, Chicago, some big city. I'd be stressing, like, damn, I'm about to get fired. Or something. Citation, something. I'd be stressed if I was losing.
Better late than never. Cops are now certain that they're at the wrong place. In reality, they barged into the apartment of a 45-year-old therapist named Elizabeth Wren.
Now she gonna need
Instead of
therapy.
apprehending the suspect, they were now faced with a sobbing, shaking, traumatized woman.
This is the wrong address. This is the wrong address. Man, we got
I'm sorry, that's not funny. He said, man, this is wrong. She's like, she about to
The officers then try to explain themselves, but little good that does. Imagine if someone burst into your house while you were in the shower and held you at gunpoint. It must have been scary, and she must have felt like her rights as well as her privacy were violated.
Yeah.
Not to mention she could have been shot by a trigger-happy cop.
Yeah.
Now she's standing in the hallway, probably half naked.
No, a lot of people don't realize why some people react like this to cops, bro. All the police shootings and shit going on, motherfuckers is terrified. Nobody want to get shot by one of these motherfuckers for nothing. Especially if you ain't do nothing. Like, she ain't do nothing, I'm taking a shower. I'm soaped up. Why is you busting my door open, dog? Why y'all got a shotgun and a pistol and a beanbag gun?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, that's right.
Alright, man, we're gonna have a supervisor come out here. So this is exactly what's happening. Someone's being thrown out of a window right now. It's in this building or the other building, and it's in room 404. Contacted you, we knocked down the seal police officers. It sounds like you were the victim of the crime, and you sound like you weren't able to go to the door.
She might be overreacting, though. But you know.
What's at my door?
I know, I'm sorry about that.
I didn't hear you say Seattle police. I didn't hear that at all. I heard open the door, and I was like, who is this? And I did not hear Seattle police
I'm sorry.
all.
We got
I would have answered the door, okay?
Well, Seattle.
I did not hear Seattle police.
Just
I'm sorry about that. We thought that you were the victim and you were being held captive inside of this room. Right now there's someone else about you thrown out of a window. So then we're going to go do that. We're going to have a supervisor come in and we're going to talk to you through that. I understand it's very, very jarring. I'm so
Hey,
sorry.
you should keep crying in the corner. The supervisor coming. Bye. She might be.
Okay. Yeah. It was incredibly dumb to go into the wrong building, right? But this cop handled the situation quite professionally. He could have just said sorry and stormed out of there and let the supervisor deal with it. But he stuck around, explained the situation in more detail, and tried to calm the woman down. He even apologized multiple times.
Okay,
So
at least
that
he did
part
that.
was handled properly. And considering the circumstances, they were authorized to enter the apartment. Just not that one. Elizabeth Wren is, of course, suing the city of Seattle.
Seattle Police Department is getting sued after breaking down the front door and charging into the wrong apartment. The woman who lived there claims she's still traumatized from from that day 3 years ago. Tonight, King 5 spoke with her attorney.
And it was all unnecessary.
Wren was getting ready to take a bath when
Hey,
police
trying to get that money,
suddenly
though.
entered her apartment.
She realized how close she came to losing her own life for no reason. She had a teapot in her hand, a metal teapot. Well, what if she had grabbed a kitchen knife?
Damn. Well, that's real shit, though. You know what I'm saying? Never know what could have went on. If she would have got shot, that'd been real bad. So, you know. Hey. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. There was a lot to take in with the dog, and I don't know. At least it was more of a lighthearted clip at the end. You know, try to get you settled down. Well, let me know what y'all think of this video in the comments. I'm ready to talk to y'all. Let me know. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.